Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. If I handed you a glass of water and told you there might be poison in it, would you drink it? Of course not. Yet every single day, many people open their fridge, pull out something that looks innocent, and put it on their plate, not realizing it could be quietly harming their body. Especially for seniors, where every bite matters for health, the wrong foods can increase the risk of cancer and other serious illnesses. Today, I want to share with you 5 foods you should remove from your fridge immediately. And trust me, your future self will thank you for it. Before we begin, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any video. Number 1. Processed meats, bacon, sausages, hot dogs. Think back for a moment. Have you ever opened your fridge, seen that pack of bacon or sausages, and thought, well, it's quick, it's tasty, it won't hurt just this once? Most of us have. It's the kind of food that feels like comfort sizzling in a pan, smelling irresistible, tied to family breakfasts or a backyard barbecue. But here's the hard truth. What looks harmless on your plate could actually be one of the most dangerous things you put into your body, especially as you get older. Processed meats like bacon, sausages, and hot dogs are more than just indulgences. They're silent threats hiding in plain sight. Processed meats are often preserved with chemicals called nitrates and nitrites. On the surface, these are added to keep the meat looking fresh and tasting appealing. But inside the body, they can turn into compounds that damage cells and increase the risk of cancer, particularly colorectal cancer. It's not a scare tactic, it's science. For seniors who may already be dealing with slower metabolism and a more delicate immune system, these risks are even higher. Isn't it worth asking yourself, why gamble with something as precious as your health for a slice of bacon that lasts only a few minutes on your tongue? I once met a man in his 70s who shared his story with me. He had spent decades eating sausages for breakfast, every single morning, without fail. He told me he thought it was harmless because that's what he had grown up on. But after being diagnosed with colon issues, his doctor was blunt. It's time to stop what's hurting you. He admitted that making the switch wasn't easy, but within months of replacing processed meats with fresh alternatives, he felt lighter, more energetic, and healthier than he had in years. That moment taught me something powerful. It's never too late to change, and the benefits show up faster than you might think. So what can you do right now? First, reduce or eliminate processed meats from your meals. Instead of sausages or hot dogs, try fresh chicken, turkey, or fish. These options are just as satisfying and give your body real nourishment instead of toxic additives. Second, explore plant-based proteins. Lentils, beans, and chickpeas can be turned into flavorful dishes that fill you up without the harmful side effects. You might even discover new recipes that become family favorites. Third, if you find yourself craving that salty, smoky flavor, experiment with natural seasonings. Smoked paprika, garlic, or herbs can create a similar taste without the hidden dangers. Isn't it better to trick your taste buds than to trick your health? The key is to reframe how you see these foods. They're not treats, they're traps. Every time you swap out a strip of bacon for something healthier, you're casting a vote for your future. Every time you skip the hot dog and choose a grilled chicken skewer or a bean salad, you're investing in more years of vitality, strength, and energy. And here's the truth your body notices. It rewards you with better digestion, stronger immunity, and a greater sense of well-being. So the next time you open your fridge and see those familiar packages staring back at you, remember this. Processed meats aren't giving you life. They're slowly taking it away. The choice may feel small in the moment, but over time it becomes monumental. You have the power to choose foods that protect you instead of harm you. And when you make that choice consistently, you're not just eating differently, you're living differently. That's the kind of decision that transforms not just your health, but your entire quality of life. Number 2, sugary drinks and sodas. Picture this. You're sitting at the table on a hot afternoon, you reach for an ice, cold soda, crack it open, and take that first fizzy sip. It feels refreshing, right? For a moment, it seems like exactly what your body needed. But here's the hidden truth behind that sweetness. Behind that quick burst of energy lies a trap. Sugary drinks and sodas may look innocent in their colorful cans and bottles, but they're some of the most dangerous items lurking in your fridge. And the cost of enjoying them goes far beyond a few extra calories. It's about your long-term health, your energy, and even your future. When you drink soda, you're not just quenching your thirst, you're pouring sugar straight into your system, often more than your body can handle in an entire day. That sugar doesn't just disappear, it spikes your blood sugar, forces your pancreas to work overtime, and fuels inflammation in your body. Over time, this constant cycle can lead to diabetes, obesity, heart disease, and even increase your risk of certain cancers. For seniors whose bodies process sugar less efficiently, the effects are even more damaging. Think about it. Why would we willingly fuel disease inside our own bodies for a few minutes of sweetness? I remember speaking with a woman in her 60s who told me about her lifelong soda habit. She said, "It was my little daily reward. 1 can of soda in the afternoon." But over the years, that 1 can turned into 2 and eventually 3. She struggled with fatigue, unexplained weight gain, and constant sugar cravings. Her wake-up call came when her doctor warned her she was pre-diabetic. At first, she was shocked. She thought, how could just a few drinks cause so much harm? But when she cut out soda and replaced it with water and fruit, infused drinks, her energy came back, her weight started to balance, and her blood sugar stabilized. Her words stuck with me. I thought I'd be losing something by giving up soda, but in reality, I gained back my health. So how can you start making that shift? First, be mindful of what you're drinking. Read the labels. Sometimes a single bottle contains more sugar than the recommended daily limit. Awareness is the first step to change. Second, find healthier replacements. Instead of soda, try sparkling water with lemon or cucumber slices. The fizz is still there, but without the sugar that harms you. Third, gradually reduce your intake if quitting feels overwhelming. Start with 1 less soda a day, then replace it with something better. Before long, your body will stop craving that sugar hit. And isn't it worth asking yourself, why settle for something that drags you down when you could choose something that lifts you up? The truth is, sugary drinks aren't giving you the energy you think they are. They're stealing it. They give you a quick rush, then leave you tired, craving more, and stuck in a cycle that slowly wears down your health. Imagine how much stronger, clearer, and more vibrant you'd feel if you broke that cycle once and for all. Every glass of water you choose over soda is a step toward protecting your body, fueling your strength, and giving yourself more time to do the things you love. So the next time you feel tempted by that fizzy can or bottle, pause for a moment and ask yourself, do I want a few seconds of sweetness, or do I want years of health, energy, and vitality? Because the choice is in your hands. And when you choose wisely, you're not just removing something harmful. You're opening the door to a life filled with energy, confidence, and control. Number 3, packaged, ready-to-eat meals. We've all had those days when cooking feels like too much effort. You come home tired, open the fridge, and there it is, an easy, neatly packaged meal waiting for you. No chopping, no waiting, just heat it up and you're done. It feels like a blessing in the moment, doesn't it? But what if that convenience is quietly costing you your health? Packaged, ready-to-eat meals may look harmless, even helpful. But the truth is they're often filled with hidden dangers that slowly chip away at your energy, your strength, and your long-term well-being. Most of these meals are engineered for shelf life, not for your body's needs. They're loaded with preservatives to make them last, artificial flavors to make them taste good, and excessive sodium to keep them from spoiling. On the outside, it looks like a balanced portion of pasta, rice, or chicken. On the inside, it's a cocktail of additives your body doesn't recognize. Instead of nourishing you, it weighs your system down, raises your blood pressure, and increases your risk of serious health issues like heart disease and even cancer. And here's the sad part because it feels convenient. People eat these meals regularly without realizing the damage they're inviting into their lives. I once spoke with an older gentleman who lived alone and relied heavily on frozen dinners. He told me, they save me time, and I don't have to think about what to cook. But after years of this habit, he started experiencing constant bloating, high blood pressure, and fatigue that just wouldn't go away. His doctor finally explained that the sodium and chemicals in those meals were a major factor in his health decline. When he slowly shifted to cooking simple, fresh meals, Even something as easy as grilled vegetables with a piece of fish. He noticed a dramatic difference. His energy improved, his blood pressure leveled out, and he even felt more mentally sharp. That story proves something powerful: convenience isn't worth sacrificing your health. So how can you start making a change? First, look at the labels before you buy. If you see a list of ingredients you can't pronounce, that's a red flag. The shorter the list, the better. Second, commit to preparing fresh meals, even if they're simple. A salad with beans, olive oil, and a sprinkle of seeds can be ready in minutes, and it will fuel your body far better than any packaged tray. Third, batch cook when you can. Preparing a pot of soup or a stir-fry that lasts for a few meals can save you time while keeping your food fresh and nourishing. And ask yourself this: would you rather spend a little extra time in the kitchen today or spend years managing health problems tomorrow? The truth is, packaged meals don't save you time, they steal it. They may save minutes in the evening, but they cost you hours of energy during the day and possibly years of your life in the long run. Every fresh meal you choose over a packaged one is a vote for a stronger body, a clearer mind, and a future with fewer health worries. So the next time you're tempted to reach for that box or tray in the fridge, pause and think about what you really want. Do you want short-lived convenience, or do you want lasting vitality? The choice is yours, and every choice adds up. By choosing fresh, wholesome foods, you're not just feeding your body, you're fueling your future. Number 4, margarine and artificial spreads. Think back to the commercials many of us grew up with. Bright packaging, smiling families, and that golden promise that margarine or artificial spreads were the healthier choice. They were sold as the smarter alternative to butter, the guilt-free option you could spread on your toast every morning. But what if I told you that the very product marketed as healthy could actually be harming your body from the inside out? Margarine and artificial spreads are not the heroes we were led to believe. They're silent saboteurs, and it's time to rethink what we're really putting on our bread. Here's the truth. Margarine and many artificial spreads are often loaded with trans fats, one of the most dangerous ingredients for your health. Trans fats raise your bad cholesterol, lower your good cholesterol, and increase inflammation throughout your body. That inflammation doesn't just make you feel sluggish. It creates the perfect environment for heart disease, strokes, and even cancer to develop. And here's the most frustrating part: people turned to margarine because they thought they were protecting their health, when in reality, they were unknowingly making it worse. Doesn't that make you stop and wonder, how many times have we been fooled by what's convenient or trendy in food? I remember a woman I once met at a wellness seminar. She was in her late 50s, and she shared how she had spent decades spreading margarine on her toast every morning, believing it was the better choice. When she began experiencing constant fatigue and her cholesterol levels skyrocketed, her doctor asked her to track her diet. That's when she realized just how often she relied on margarine, thinking it was harmless. The doctor advised her to switch to natural fats, like olive oil, avocado, or even small amounts of real butter. Within a few months, her cholesterol improved, her energy returned, and she said she finally felt like she was in control of her health again. That change didn't just shift her diet, it shifted her mindset. So, what can you do to protect yourself? First, check the labels of any spread you're using. If you see the words partially hydrogenated oils, that's a clear sign of trans fats. Toss it out. Second, replace artificial spreads with healthier fats. Olive oil drizzled over toast, avocado mashed as a creamy base, or even nut butters can give you flavor, texture, and nutrition without the hidden dangers. Third, embrace moderation with natural foods. A small amount of real butter, used sparingly, is far less harmful than daily doses of chemicals and artificial fats. The goal isn't to deprive yourself. It's to choose options that fuel your health instead of fighting it. The danger with margarine isn't just the fat itself. It's the illusion of safety. It's believing we're making a smart choice, when in fact, we're unknowingly undermining our health. Every time you replace margarine with something wholesome, you're not just changing what's on your plate, you're changing the story of your health. And here's the empowering part: you don't need to overhaul everything at once. Every small step counts. So the next time you stand in front of your fridge, ask yourself, Do I want to keep feeding my body with something that was created in a factory, or do I want to fuel it with foods that come from nature? That decision may feel small, but it has the power to transform your energy, protect your heart, and strengthen your future. Remember, your body deserves the best, not the cheapest trick disguised as health. By choosing real nourishment over artificial spreads, you're choosing strength, vitality, and a life fueled by genuine care for yourself. Number 5, leftovers stored too long. We've all done it. You cook a meal, enjoy it, and then put the rest into the fridge thinking, I'll eat this tomorrow. But then tomorrow turns into the next day, and suddenly that container is still sitting there 4 or 5 days later. You open the fridge, glance at it, and think, it looks okay, maybe it's still fine. That moment of hesitation is one of the most dangerous traps in everyday eating, because leftovers stored too long aren't just unappetizing. They can quietly turn into health hazards that put your body at serious risk. Food is meant to nourish us, to fuel us, to keep us strong. But when it sits too long, bacteria and mold start to grow, even if you can't see them right away. These microorganisms release toxins that damage cells, weaken the immune system, and in some cases, increase the risk of serious illness, even cancer. For seniors, who may already have weaker immune defenses, the impact can be even more severe. What looks like just a leftover could actually be a breeding ground for danger. And here's the big question. Why gamble with your health over a container of food that's already lost its freshness? I remember meeting a man in his 70s who told me about an incident that changed how he saw leftovers forever. Living alone, he often saved meals for several days to avoid cooking again. One evening, he reheated a casserole that had been in the fridge nearly a week. At first, it tasted fine, but a few hours later, he experienced severe stomach pains and ended up in the hospital with food poisoning. The doctor explained that the bacteria in the casserole had built up to dangerous levels, even though it looked and smelled normal. That scare made him realize something important. Throwing out old food might feel wasteful, but keeping it could cost far more than a few lost dollars. So what can you do to protect yourself? First, follow the 3-day rule. If leftovers have been in your fridge longer than 3 days, it's time to let them go. Fresh food fuels health. Old food feeds illness. Second, store your leftovers properly in airtight containers and label them with the date so you know exactly how long they've been there. It's easy to lose track otherwise. Third, cook smaller portions whenever possible. Preparing just enough for 1 or 2 meals means less food goes to waste and less risk of leaving questionable leftovers sitting around. Isn't your health worth more than holding on to something your body doesn't truly need? Think about it this way: your fridge should be a place of life, not of risk. Every time you open it, you should feel confident that what you're choosing will give you energy and strength, not uncertainty and doubt. By respecting your body enough to give it only what's fresh and safe, you're sending yourself a powerful message: my health comes first. And that shift in mindset can change the way you approach every meal. So the next time you're standing in front of the fridge, staring at that container that's been sitting there little too long, ask yourself one simple question. Do I want to feed my body with life, or do I want to take chances with something that's already expired in value? The answer is clear. By letting go of food that no longer serves you, you're not being wasteful. You're being wise. Because protecting your health is never a waste. It's an investment in more energy, more joy, and more years of living fully. Your fridge should not be a storage box for danger. It should be a treasure chest of life, energy, and protection. Removing these 5 foods may seem like a small step, but small steps can change the entire direction of your health. Imagine opening your fridge and knowing that every single item in there is working for you, not against you. So today, make that commitment: clear out the foods that can harm you, and fill your fridge with choices that help you live longer, stronger, and with more joy. Because your health is your greatest wealth, and you deserve to protect it with every meal. God bless you,